And here we are, 9 o'clock, Friday morning. Where else would I be? I'd say on a beach in the Bahamas, but that wouldn't actually suit me at all. So no, won't be there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to wherever this is, Friday morning chat, social get together, whatever you want to call it. Just looking at my screen, I've got all sorts of things on there. Right, let's get organised. If you are watching, do say hello in the comments so that I know that you are there. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sue. If I look like this, because I've got really dirty glasses, and all I can see is big smudges. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Christine. Oh, bit rubbish today. It's not very organised, is it? Good morning, Amanda. Welcome to Friday. Good morning, Andrea. Here we are again. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Angela. Lots of lovely people. Welcome. Oh, little smiley faces with sunglasses on. Love it. Good morning, Emma. And of course, good morning to Georgie. Good morning, Helen. School's out. Yeah, last day of school for lots of people today. Their youngest finished a couple of weeks ago because he had his GCSEs and they finished a bit earlier. I think he finally went to bed at 20 to 4 this morning because he's on school holidays. Oh, to be a teenager, eh? Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Caroline. Good morning, Charlotte. Lots of people. Hello. Good morning. Eric's fast asleep. It's the heat. So I had an idea for a talk this morning. I thought, yep, that's what I'll talk about. And then I changed my mind because I realised that in the UK at the moment, we have what's been called a heat wave. I think it's really just summer, you know. The temperatures are quite high, but, you know, it's summer. Lived through 76, you know. So I thought that actually working with this sun that we've been supplied with in spade loads would probably make an interesting subject. So that's where we're at today. Good morning, Kayla. Good morning, Elizabeth. First day of school holidays. School holiday hell. Sorry, missed that bit off the end. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Maria. Sarah says I have no grass left. Yes. Yeah. It's all looking a bit yellow and bald, isn't it? Good morning, Sasha. Good morning, Gemma. Day off so I can join in. Yay, days off. I think we might have a day off next week. Probably involve garden centres. It usually does. Good morning. Good morning, Luna. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Leslie. Wow, loads of people. Thank you so much for joining me. Whew, who would have thought over 2 years later and you guys are still rocking up? You're superstars. Good morning, Xenia. Yeah, Pete's working hard opposite me. Let's hope he works hard towards the kettle shortly. And Eric is Sparko on his armchair. This bit here that you can just see in the corner of the picture is Eric's armchair. He has his own armchair. Good morning, Deb. Welcome. So, yes, today, because, you know, it's the hot topic, no pun intended, maybe I did. I thought solar magic, sun magic would be a good subject today because Mother Nature is throwing it at us at the moment. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Heather. Happy birthday for Wednesday. I was a bit jealous. Heather went to the Harry Potter world and had butterbeer ice cream. Little bit jealous. Maria's waiting for massive thunderstorm. Yes, it has got a little bit grey out there this morning for the first day for a week. It is it's got that kind of close feeling to it, hasn't it? Senia, give Eric a cuddle from me. Yeah, he's a bless. Maria let's get some of these up. Is there such thing as storm magic? Oh, absolutely. I'll make a note of that. Let's make a note of that. Let's write that down. I'm so old school. I have to write things down. Storm magic. That would make a good chat. Storm magic. There we go. I will do a chat on that at some point, Maria. There is absolutely working magic with wind, rain, thunder, lightning. Very, very powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff. Emma. So which solar deity is responsible for the heat? Well, there are many. There are many. Jane says, it will rain today. Oh, because your bed linen's on the line. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Christine, storm water is great to save. Absolutely. If you're used to making warm moon water, then you can make storm water. Put the water out in the rain or in the thunder, the lightning, and you've got yourself some storm water. It's powerful stuff. Karen has rain. Send it down airway. Garden needs it. Yes, so there are, yeah, that would be a good one, Maria. Probably Helios. He would be a good one. That I have got solar deities. I've got a whole list of them. Let's have a look. Sulis, one of my goddesses, obviously. Belanos, one of my gods. Both very, very solar deities. Bellissima, solar deity as well. I guess it depends where you are in the world and what deities you work with, but there are a whole load of them. Ra, probably one of the best known solar deities. If you are working with a deity, do get to know them first, though. Do a bit of research. You've got to build a relationship with these deities before you work with them. So do get to know them first. So we got loads here. Adonis, Amaterasu, Amun, Apollo. Lots of names that I'm really useless at pronouncing. Balder, who's here, sent to me by a very, very lovely friend. He is one of the Norse gods, son of Odin and Frigg. Very handsome chappy, and apparently so glorious that he gives off a bright light. My husband's smiling at me over the top of the computer screen.
Much to be appreciated.
Obviously. He's actually believed to be the divine force behind all life. So he's a good one for sun. Bast, another one. Dager, Eos, Attain, Freya, Helios we mentioned. Oh, Horus. Just looking at all of these. I'm not reading out the ones whose names I can't pronounce. I haven't got a whole list. There's a whole list in the Sun Magic book. Olwen, Sekhmet, Sol, Roman sun god. Says it all in the name, doesn't it? He's the opposite to the moon goddess Luna. Who else have we got? Loads. There are loads from all across the world, basically. I think probably, I don't know, I wasn't there, but when man started worshipping spirits, nature spirits, gods, whatever you want to call them, the sun and the moon would have been one of the first ones that they actually created a worship around. So probably every culture has a sun god of some sort. Maria says Lu. Yes, he would come under it as well. Jane has serious rain envy. Xenia had and are having rain too today after 40 degrees in my town on Wednesday. Wow, that is warm. Caroline's asking about spells for stormwater. So we're talking about sun today. Storm's another one. But you could, stormwater, think about it. Thunder, lightning, there's a huge amount of power there. So I would add stormwater to any spell that needed a boost, any spell that needed a big punch of energy or a kick to get moving. But, think about your associations with it. What do you associate it with? Xenia has spotted the solar cross around my neck. Yes. Purchased at Pagan Tribal Gathering recently from a very lovely heathen chap. And I will remember his name. The company is called, looking through my bits of paper here, Runecast Copper. Very, very helpful man. Very interesting to chat to. And yeah, because I work, well, my entire altar behind me is solar altar, sun altar, because that's what I'm working with at the moment. It has Balder on it. Thank you, Maria. It has Balanos. It has Sulis. You can't quite see that Sulis there. It also has Bridget on there because she's appeared to me recently. Never worked with her before specifically, but she's been poking me. So she's up there as well. So it's a very sunny altar behind me. So I am wearing my solar cross. I do work with sun magic an awful lot. Janet says, how can you work with lightning? Because Wednesday night is very bright strikes with fire and white flashes. So you can work magic while the lightning is going on using your visualization skills. It electrifies the air. So it supercharges any spell that you're working with. But if you put out a jar to catch, it's usually raining as well, catch the rain while it's lightning, then you have lightning rain. You could do knot spells. You could do a knot magic to trap the energy of the lightning. As the lightning strikes, tie a knot, capture the energy in it. It is literally super powered. Just think about the supercharged energy that comes with a lightning strike. And you can add that to your spell work once you've captured that energy. And it literally does give a huge boost to whatever it is. Good morning, Ravenwolf. Caroline, need to sell a house. Let us have a storm. Oh, yeah. Lightning energy would boost that. Absolutely. Maria likes Balanos. Yeah, he's here. He's here. That's, oh, show and tell. That's Balanos. That's the Gorgon head from Sulis's temple in the Roman baths, who we believe to be Balanos. He is, let's move that. He's Balanos too. That's my little Balanos. But there's lots of sun stuff on here. There's my wild boar, obviously. Thank you to Cos and Jason for that one. What else we got on there? Bath Waters, Balder, Bridget. Yep, lots of sun stuff. Sulis. There she is. Sulis. Oh, and Bellissima. Both solar deities. I know I've got lots of deities on there. They tolerate each other. Use your intuition when you're working with different deities. When you do a kind of mix and match, some of them argue with each other. So you have to be careful. But as they're all solar deities, the energy kind of works well for me. Christine says, stormwater, good to work spells, especially getting rid of things. For example, neighbours, by adding their names and pouring down the drain. Also use it to cleanse anything bought from charity shops, cleanse away negative energy. Absolutely. If you think about the power of a storm and how cleansing and refreshing and clearing it is, the energy before a storm, the energy after a storm is definitely a feeling of relief, isn't it? It's a kind of, whew, that's cleared the air kind of thing. So absolutely brilliant for cleansing, brilliant for purification. Definitely very, very useful for that. So yes, solar magic. Good morning, Denise. Solar magic is my thing, one of my things. I probably work with sun magic just as much as I work with moon magic, and during the summer, probably more. Quite a lot of my spells are left outside, worked outside. Good morning, Jay. For me, it's a very, very powerful energy. And I do work with moon magic as the feminine and sun magic as the masculine. Don't have to. There are lots and lots of stories about the gender, for want of a better word, of the sun and of the moon. I've always seen the moon as feminine and the sun as masculine. It kind of works for me, and I think we see the moon as nurturing, caring, to deal with emotions, the mysteries. So to me, that's all the feminine stuff. The sun we often see as passion, creativity, strength, all of the kind of grr. Do that again, grr. Masculine stuff. So that's how I work with it. But you don't have to. Good morning, Kerry, from around the corner. Shall I lean out the window and wave? So for me, there is that balance. There is that masculine, that feminine, that it works for me. However, if you see it the other way around, go for it. If you see them as genderless, go for it. It's entirely up to you. There are lots of stories about in cultures about the sun and the moon chasing each other across the skies. For some reason, the sun always gets a gold chariot to race across the sky in, which I feel a little bit sorry for the moon, because it's usually the god that's got this fantastic chariot to chase across skies with, but which is a bit unfair, but there you go. But there are lots of stories where they chase each other across the sky. They are often brother and sister or husband and wife, and they literally chase each other with a sad ending that they never catch up with each other. But as I say, often the sun is masculine, he's the husband or the brother, the moon is the wife or the sister. But in some cultures, it is reversed. So yeah, got to go with your own intuition here and how you feel about it. If you've got any thoughts about that, pop it in the comments and we'll throw it about, talk about it. Hi, Kerry, and see where we're at. So I think for me, any spell can work with sun magic. Anything that you would work with the moon, you can work with the sun. You just need to tweak it a bit, because I think there are things that the sun is slightly more suited to. It is success. It is empowerment, ambition, vitality, creativity, definitely, growth, confidence, energy, power, prosperity, all of the go for it things covered by the sun. But you can work pretty much anything. Health, healing, all sorts. It's just as strong as the moon. And of course, with the sun, you get all the phases in one day. So if you're like me and you think, right, I need to do a releasing spell, but we're on the waxing moon, which means I've got to wait, 2-3 weeks. You can do the magic with the sun in one day. In fact, you could work a brilliant spell, and I've done it, where you start in the morning and you work different phases with each phase of the sun throughout the day. So you've got the waxing of the sun, which is sunrise. Basically, when the sun wakes up, appears over the horizon. New beginnings, changes, health, employment, renewal. It is the waxing. It is the building. Then you've got the morning, where it goes basically from breakfast to lunch, with 11sies in the middle. The sun's growing in strength, so it brings the magical power of growth, positive energy, courage, happiness, strength. So you're still working with the waxing energy there, building up to high noon, which always sounds a bit like a cowboy film. But midday, when the sun it's at its peak, it's at its height. So you think about that, and it is the full moon. It's that this is the sun at its full power. So you can work anything you want to, any magic you want to, but energy, wisdom, power, knowledge. If you want your tools or your crystals charging, you can put them out under the midday sun. Be careful, some crystals do fade in the sunlight, so check them first. But you can charge your crystals under the midday sun. Then in the afternoon, once you've had your lunch and you're working down towards afternoon tea, you get the sun is waning. So release, let go of stuff. Also good for business matters, communication, travel, anything professional is good to work with sun magic in the afternoon. And then you hit the sunset. So as the sun takes itself down below the horizon, it's good for removing depression, letting go of stress, confusion, releasing, finding the truth of anything. Brilliant, the sunset for that. So you've got all of the different phases that you would normally work with the moon over a month in one day with the sun. So you can, it's just for those less impatient people, less patient people. Emma says, I always saw the sun as chasing the moon across the sky, and sometimes when they miss each other so much, they both appear in the sky at the same time. They do, don't they? The moon does often appear in the sky at the same time as the sun. I like that. Yeah. The mythology stories are really interesting when you read them. I think it helps you understand a lot of the magic as well if you do. So the sun has all the phases of the moon, but all in one day. So for me, it is brilliant to work with. And with the sun at midday, charging things. I don't actually play, I'm sure I've said this before, I don't actually put all of my crystals out under the full moon. I know social media is full of stuff at the full moon about putting your crystals. Put your crystals out to charge, it's the full moon, put all your magical tools out. I don't, because I think the moon and the sun have got different energies, and I think there are crystals that work better charged under the sun than they do under the moon. So there are things like moonstone, obviously, quartz crystals, blue lace agate, any of the paler crystals I put out under the moon. Any of the hot crystals, carnelian, sunstone, goldstone, citrine, for me, they're charged under the sun because they've got that different energy to them. Don't need to put them out for very long. And as I say, things like citrine and amethyst do fade in the sunshine if they're out for too long. But for me, that works better charging them under the sun. And midday is a brilliant time for that. Gemma says, love the sun and have always felt connected, although I love the moon too. Yeah, let's got to be fair about these things. I'm not a sun worshipper. No, me neither, as I'm pale as anything, but I often feel like Superman and recharge my energy from it. No, I don't sunbathe. It fades the tattoos. But if you are familiar with the drawing down the moon ritual, which is an amazing thing to experience, usually done in ritual because it's quite a powerful thing, often done by the high priestess because, again, it is a powerful thing, and I think you need a little bit of experience to know how to deal with it. The idea being that you draw down the energy of the moon or the moon goddess into yourself. Well, you can do exactly the same thing by drawing down the sun. I actually wrote a poem, a word, chants, whatever you want to call it. Traditionally, drawing down the moon is a poem is read, and I've done one for the sun. Basically, you open your arms up and your heart and your soul up to the sun energy, and you allow the sun god or the sun energy to enter into your body. Again, done in ritual generally. And it is quite a powerful experience. There are full details in the Sun Magic book that I wrote, and there is the words for the drawing down the sun on my blog. Definitely an interesting experience. If you don't want to experience that whole powerful ritual, and it is something perhaps think you need a little bit of experience for, you can sunbathe. And I don't mean, whopping out the bikini and the factor 50 and laying on your sun lounger. You can sit and draw in the energy of the sun. Sit in the shade and draw in the energy of the sun. Allow that energy to recharge you just by feeling it on your skin and allowing it to enter you. So it's very useful for recharging as well. Emma saw the sun as being born, growing older during the day until it's an old man who dies at the end of the day. You're not weird, Emma. That makes perfect sense to me. Perfect sense. Gemma, sounds great. I've heard of drawing down the moon, but never tried it. Check this out and have a read. Yeah, it is same principle as drawing down the moon. I wrote about it in the Sun Magic book. Wrong way. Which I will find here. It's raining. It's because I'm talking about sun magic. Because I've decided to talk about sun magic. It's raining for the first time in 3 weeks. It is in the Sun Magic book. There's all the details in there that you need for working with the sun. There's all the phases of the sun, and there is information on the drawing down the sun. But the words for drawing down the sun are also on my personal blog, so have a look at that as well. It is an interesting thing to work with. I know you're talking to each other, but I'm reading these out anyway. The sun is chasing the moon being of the masculine persuasion and gets tired by the end of the day. JD, I stand outside in the early morning sunshine and draw on the energy of sun. Me too. I've created my own little ritual to do it and always give the sun thanks for its energy. Perfect. I quite often turn to the east first thing in the morning, open up my arms into the God shape and welcome the sun in. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is, the sun is always there. So I do generally most mornings turn to the east and welcome the sun in. And the first thing I do each day is step outside into the garden and breathe in the energy of the day. And of course, say hello to the sun. Oh, bless you. I'll pay you later. In cake, obviously. For me, I think the sun gets a little bit forgotten sometimes. I think it gets a little bit sidelined. And, you know, we're so used to working with the moon. And working with the moon was one of the first things that I was taught. And obviously I do work with moon because I've got 2 books on moon magic. So let's not discount that. But I think the sun is just as useful to work with. And I do think it gets forgotten quite a lot of the time. You know, let's champion the sun, basically. The moon has a spirographic orbit. Now, all I'm thinking about now is spirograph. So if you are of a certain age, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Is she trying to lead the sun a merry dance, do you think? Oh, quite possibly. Quite possibly. I do. I think it gets forgotten. And I think it is such an interesting energy to work with. And I think it deserves equal place with moon magic. So I'm challenging. Go sun magic, basically. Coffee's probably ruled by the sun. Yeah, Heather. Oh, yes. Spirograph mandalas. Oh, can you still get spirographs? I want one now. I remember having one of those as a child. Yeah, definitely need one of those. But man has been working with the sun and worshipping the sun for thousands of years. There's a lot of our ancient buildings, ancient structures, sacred sites that are built wholly or in part to worshipping the sun or the sun gods. So it is an ancient practice. And of course, we've got the 2 solstices in the year as well. Heather's now shopping for spirographs. Sue says they revamped them. Yes, you can buy them. Okay, that's going to be on my Christmas list. I need a spirograph for drawing mandalas. I like that idea. I'm sold on that now. Now, we mentioned stormwater earlier, and I will do a chat on storm and weather magic. That's a brilliant idea. But you can make solar water, the same as you make moon water by putting out a jar of water under the different phases of the moon. You can do the same with solar water. Sunrise, midday, sunset, put it out on any of those. You can put it out for the whole day if you want to fully charge it. Bottle it, use it at a later date, label it, obviously, so you know what it is. Let it soak up that solar energy. If you're putting it outside, do make sure to cover it because you don't want dead flies in it. That's really not good. But solar water, brilliant for adding to any spells, for anointing, for putting on your magical tools, for cleansing crystals, for having a little sip when you need an energy lift, or before you work any kind of magic. You can add it to your baking or your cooking to send a bit of solar energy into it. You can pop it in your ritual bath water to give you a boost of solar energy. You could water your plants with it to give them a boost of solar energy. So many different kind of uses for sun and moon water. Christine says solar water. Yes, great for cleansing crystals. Absolutely. Maria says coffee beans need the sun to develop. Yeah, definitely. Jane, still got my spirograph in its original box, all intact except the pens have run out. Had it since 1968. Jane, that's the year I was born. Oh, I am going to have to get one. Yeah, Heather says there's an original and a deluxe. Okay, we're going to have to investigate that. I'm putting spirograph on my Christmas list. Oh, look, there's coffee delivered by the shining solar god with his light. Thank you. That was an unexpected surprise. And of course, you have all the different sun herbs and sun plants. Janet says, I'm charging sunstones and water to help with the winter blues. Brilliant. Brilliant. All hail to the coffee god. Funny thing is, he doesn't actually drink coffee. Diet Coke god. So there are sun herbs and sun plants. You can work with the same way that you do when you work with magical herbs, but there are some that are more specific to the sun. Sunflowers, you know. Emma says you've been promoted. You're now a solar deity. But yes, as there are, each plant, each herb is ruled by a planet. And there are a lot of them that are ruled by the sun. Christine says she's a shriveled skeleton waiting for her hot chocolate. It was ordered weeks ago. She's only in Dorset. It's not that far.
Get my bike out.
He's getting his push bike out. It might be a while. But there are lots and lots of different plants. And I think there are the plants that are traditionally ruled by the planet, the sun, whatever planet it might be. But I think you do have to trust your intuition on this one as well. There are books with lots of lists in, mine included. But use your intuition. Whenever you're working magic for anything, stand and look at the ingredients that you've got and see which ones jump out to you. But there are obvious ones for the sun. Sunflower, marigolds, St. John's wort, heliotrope, chrysanthemums, chamomile, little daisies, buttercups, copal, frankincense, the resins, they're all ruled by the sun. And they've each got their own individual characteristics and their magical energies, but they bring that solar magic with them as well. And you can work magic with any of those, but the edible ones, you can make solar tea blends as well. There's some really nice ones. Elderflower and mint, chamomile and hibiscus, rosemary and hibiscus, although rosemary in a drink is a little bit harsh. But, you can play around with it. You can make incense blends, sun incense blends, from all sorts of different things. There's some fantastic incense blends. And, of course, you can add things like cinnamon and orange and all the fiery stuff as well. Jane, any flower in the Asteraceae family reminds me of the sun, even if their family is named after the stars. They do, don't they? Asters do look like sun shapes. Yeah, definitely. I think any of the kind of marigold type, daisy type flowers do, don't they? They look like the sun. So yeah, you've got to trust your intuition, I think, on any of these. And of course, essential oils, if you're into blending essential oils, you can do that too with all of the sun-related oils. And come up with some nice sunshiny blends. There's lots of S's today. And foods, obviously. Emma, just as I mentioned foods, you mentioned vegetables. Had to keep my vegetables in the shade during the heat because it went up to 41 degrees here. Trying to keep them cool while still getting the sun. Not an easy task, no. We're not used to extremes in England, are we? We don't have air conditioning units in our houses, and we don't have the ability to cope with any extremes of heat, really. And we're British. We like to moan about the weather, whatever it is. Jane says, fried egg, sunny side up. Absolutely. Christine says, some water great to add to jam making for energy boosts for the family. Nice. Just much as I love baking, I've never actually made jam. I'm the only one that eats it in the house. So if I made jam, I'd be eating it forever. I just rely on lovely friends, Heather, to give me jars of their homemade jam instead. Karen, just had coffee and bacon butties made by my other half. Oh, now I need a bacon butty. That's a good idea. I like your thinking, Karen.
I may have to divert the bike where she lives.
Karen's a bit further. A bit further than doors. Might take you a while to get to Karen on your push bike. JD, not just the Brits. Aussies love to moan about the weather too. I'm glad we're not alone. Sarah, my sunflower didn't. No, we planted some sunflower seeds this year, as we did last year. And yeah, with all of the house renovation that was going on, they didn't make it this year. But we will try again next year. Heather, I'll just put my jam order into Heather. That was very subtle, wasn't it? Sarah, I kill a lot of plants. Oh no. Now, I will be honest here. I love my gardening. I love the outdoor plants. I remember the names of lots of them, not all of them. It's my sanctuary, being out in the garden. House plants, however, scream as they come in the front door.
In the shop they scream.
In the shop they scream. They know their days are numbered. For some reason, I'm really rubbish at houseplants. Okay, Jane, you could cut round the white of a fried egg with a crinkly cookie cutter to make it even sunnier, or put one of the round cookie cutters in your frying pan and put the fried egg into it. One of her favourite little breakfast cafes, the fried eggs always come out completely round and you don't waste any. Elizabeth, you should hear the Czechs talking about the weather. Obviously, it's a worldwide thing to moan about the weather. Karen's sunflower seeds didn't make it either. Maybe it was a thing this year. Maybe the sunflower seeds just didn't want to grow this year. Xenia can relate. All my house and balcony plants die. It is house plants I am a bit of a kiss of death on. But there are foods. Let's move on to foods, because foods I can relate to. There are a lot of foods that are ruled by the sun. One of my favorite herbs, spices, plants, whatever you want to call it, my go-to is cinnamon. I find it's in a lot of my spells. You'll find cinnamon, and it's my definite go-to for any success spell. That one's ruled by the sun. Corn, obviously. Grapefruit, unsurprisingly, and one of the best sounding fruits ever, kumquats. They're ruled by the sun. Oranges, limes, the citrus fruits, not lemon. Lemon's ruled by the moon, which is very bizarre, but there you go. Pineapple, rosemary, ruled by the sun. Saffron, unsurprisingly. Rice is ruled by the sun as well. And your good old cup of tea, your normal black tea, that's ruled by the sun as well. And if you're into your wine, then red wine is ruled by the sun as well. So you can sit in your garden with your glass of red wine and know that you are honouring the sun gods. Or sit out there with your cup of tea and know that you're honouring the sun gods. So there's lots of foods that are ruled by the sun as well. And they can be not only eaten, for their solar energy, but also a lot of them I use in spell work too, particularly things like the oranges and the limes and the grapefruits. I save the seeds and I add the seeds to my spells. Rice I use in lots of spells, uncooked obviously, not cooked because that's a little bit squishy. Walnuts are ruled by the sun, but I save the shells. Cashew nuts ruled by the sun. For nuts in particular, I save the shells and I work magic with the shells and eat the nuts because that seems to make sense to me. Maria, I love plants, but I feel they're better off on the shelves than with me at home. It's the same with fish. Air Kids had goldfish, quite a few of them. I'm not sure what they did to them, but not many of them survived. Sarah loves cinnamon too. Yeah, cinnamon is one of my favourites. Yes, JD, lemons ruled by the moon. That sounds so weird. I know, but that's how it is. It's just, I have no explanation for that. Jane, we honour the sun gods big time when we have a curry night. Oh, one of my favourites. One of my favourites. The Kitchen Witch Bossy are curry heads. We really are. You can persuade us with cake, but you can persuade us with curry probably even more. Emma says plants are better cared for by anyone other than me. I kill grass. Is garlic the sun or the moon? Oh, good question. Oh, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Turn the right way. I don't remember it all. Okay. Brain like a sieve. Although I wrote it, I don't remember it all. Let's face it, there's lots of plants and foods to remember.
There's almost as many plants as you've written books.
Ha ha. Garlic. Oh, garlic is ruled by the planet Mars. There you go. It is the element of fire and it is masculine, but it's ruled by the planet Mars, garlic. Which is funny because Mars is communication, isn't it? And if you've eaten lots of garlic, you don't want to be talking to people. Just one of those things. Christine, the only ones I can keep as houseplants is money tree and Easter cacti. Both sit in the south of the house and have the rising sun energy east facing most of the day. Being in the kitchen, I look at them regularly and tell them they are lovely, and the sun gives them the energy to flower for me. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's how you need to deal with them, obviously. Karen, cinnamon is my favourite smell. Yes, one of mine too. One of mine too. Maria says chilies must be the sun. I'm not sure they are. It's surprising, actually, what things are. It's not on my list up here, so it must be something else. So let's have a look. Chilies. Yeah, they're ruled by Mars. Chilies are ruled by Mars as well. Fire element and masculine. But then I guess Mars is a fiery planet, isn't it? So that kind of makes sense. Garlic looks like a waxing crescent. It does, doesn't it? The little clove of garlic. And it's white as well, isn't it? If you want to work with it in moon magic, do it. Although with garlic, I eat the cloves and I save the papery white skin from the outside. And it's that I work with in magic. Elizabeth, weird about garlic because it needs a period of cold to grow. Yeah, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Yes, some of them do sound really weird, don't they? But there will be a bizarre reason for it somewhere. Charlotte planted my sunflowers out too late this year and they look more like dandelions. Oh, no. Emma, what about birdseed? Georgie has too much energy today. Georgie is Emma's budgie. So she's not feeding humans birdseed. I guess it would depend what seeds are in it. Sunflower seeds, obviously, are the sun. What other seeds are there? Sesame seeds are ruled by the sun. But birdseed has lots of different things in it, doesn't it? Bit of mixture. So moving on from food, you then have crystals. And I mentioned crystals before, like sunstones, carnelians, and things like that. The reddy, yellow, orangey ones, I charge them under the sun. So it is sunstone, citrine, goldstone, topaz, gold, obviously. Not that we have lots of lumps of gold lying around the house. Garnets, pyrite too, and tiger's eye. They're all ruled by the sun. Amber as well, and diamonds, just in case you had any diamonds lying around that you work magic with. They're all ruled by the sun. And rubies, obviously. They're all ruled by the sun. Things like rubies and diamonds, obviously most of us don't have a big old chunk that you work magic with. But if you've got them in pieces of jewellery, my engagement ring is rubies and diamonds from the 1920s. You didn't need to know the last bit of information, but I just thought I'd throw it in there. But you could take that off and work magic with your jewellery as well. But all of those, I think, benefit more from being charged with the sun. Good morning, Cars. Late to the party from a not very solar dog walk, decidedly squishy. Yes, it's because I decided to talk at the last minute about sun magic. The weather changed. But there's magic. You can work with sun. Has anybody been working with the sun in your magic in the last week or so? Have you been out there working magic rather than, like most of us, complaining about how hot it is and that you can't do anything? Just a question. Sun animals, obviously. There are lots of animals. Xenia says, what about clear quartz, as it's a great energy bringer? Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure clear quartz is generally ruled by the sun. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's because I was looking at rutilated quartz. Yes, that makes sense, actually, doesn't it? Clear quartz is. You are absolutely correct. Ruled by the sun. Such a good, useful. If you only ever buy one crystal, buy clear quartz because it does everything. Useful stuff. Sun animals. Lots of animals. If you work with animals in your meditations or in your spell work. Cause says citrine would be my go-to sun crystal. Yeah, absolutely. Ruled by the sun. Very, very useful crystal. Angela, snap. In my engagement ring is rubies and diamonds from the 1920s. Fab. JD says, it's cold over here in Western Australia, so I'm working with sun magic for warmth and energy. Perfect. Oh, it's Karen. I wasn't venturing out until the moon was out. Gingers melt in the sun. Yeah, you be careful. Emma, I had a small ruby cluster at one point, but then it disappeared. Must have been it's time to go. Yes, I've been working solar magic, asking for some energy to get through an MRI on Sunday. Oh, heap loads of positive energy coming your way, Emma, for that. It's funny with crystals, isn't it? I do find that some of them do disappear on occasion. And I think you're right. I think it's just their time to move on to someone else. But obviously out in our gardens at the moment, the bees are having fun. Bee is ruled by the sun. Eagle, sun one. Griffin, if you work with mythological creatures. Horse. Ladybird, ladybugs, depending on where you are. We had one in the garden last week. Lion is obviously the most probably recognizable sun animal.
Did we have one of them in the garden?
We didn't have a lion in the garden, no, thankfully. And of course, the phoenix. Couldn't get more solar or fiery than the phoenix, could you? Scorpion. Snakes. Lots of different solar animals that are, sometimes they're associated with several different energies. Bear is a solar energy animal as well. Because of their qualities, because of the characteristics and the energies that they can bring with them to use in meditation, as your spirit animal guide, in spell work. Angela says, I've been laying out a walking labyrinth in my garden in the morning sun this week, sitting absorbing nature in the afternoon when it's been a bit too warm to work. That sounds perfect. I love the idea of a walking labyrinth in your garden. my garden's not very big. It wouldn't take me very long to walk around the labyrinth if I made one. But that sounds like a fantastic idea. So, working magic, lots of different things that you can do. We talked about my sun altar briefly. It's yellow, obviously. The actual cloth has got a sun in the middle of it, and it was from a company called Wild Folk Soul in France. Beautiful, beautiful products. Do have a look for them. Wild Folk Soul in France. They do beautiful candles and all sorts of things. She did a pack, actually, a box completely on sun magic. So there were sun incense, sun oils, sun images, the altar cloth, all based around solar magic. It's fantastic. But you can put anything on there that you associate with it. It's entirely up to you. I think altars are really personal. So put on there what you want to put on there. Cos says, made some sun candles, yellow coloured, fragrance with bergamot and geranium oils. Oh, I love geranium smell. Not sure if these two are sun, but they are out in the summer, so they work for me. That's all it needs to be, is that it works for you. I think bergamot is ruled by the sun. Geranium, I don't think, but it doesn't matter. Geranium smells amazing. I bet they do smell amazing. And you're very clever to make candles. I ruined quite a lot of saucepans making candles. Emma says, what about horses? Isn't there a horse on the Sun Tarot card carrying a small child? On the Rider-Waite one, yes. Yes, horses are sun energy. I think it's the power of them. They are horsepower. That's where we get the description of power of cars from, is horsepower. Jane says, think geranium is a Venus plant. I'm going to have to look that one up now, aren't I? Because again, I don't remember. Geranium as in pelargonium, before anybody argues with me, tells me that I've called it the wrong thing. What we call geranium, what we generally see in supermarkets and garden centres as geranium, is actually a pelargonium. So just you are correct, Jane. Venus, ruled by Venus. It's a water and feminine one, but I love them. They are so bright and cheerful in the garden. We've got quite a few red, pink and white ones. They are amazing plants, and they do smell nice too. Xenia says eagles too. Yep, eagles are definitely solar ones. Claire says, is chamomile ruled by the sun? It is, absolutely. It's the little daisy flowers, I think, isn't it? Maria says, yellow calcite, not sure is sun. I always felt it was water. I'm going to get the whole load of books out, aren't I? This one is Crystal Magic. Let's have a look. I can't even remember if calcite's in there. I think it is. Calcite is ruled by sun. There you go, Maria. It is ruled by the sun. You were absolutely correct. It is ruled by the sun, which kind of makes sense. But again, you've got to trust your intuition and how you feel that you want to work with it. But I think a good way of working with the sun is to set up a little solar altar. And you can add flowers from the garden, fruit, crystals, candles, coloured ribbons, images of the sun, equal arm solar crosses, the sun tarot card or the chariot tarot card work very well. God's eyes if you are into making craft things. I think antlers and horns as well bring in that masculine energy of the sun. I've got a flower get it right, flower circlet. I've got magpie wings there as well because I'm working with magpie at the minute, so ignore them. But there is a flower circlet at the back as well with sunflowers on it. Images of bees, honey, maybe a little pot of honey there as an offering. Whatever you feel represents the sun to you. And there are different symbols that are representative of the sun. The Triskelion, the three-legged sign, is thought to represent the sun in its stages: sunrise, midday, and sunset. It also represents the triple goddess. It also represents the three worlds. The swastika, very misused and misunderstood symbol. Its original meaning is beautiful. Not the way the Nazis use it, but if you flip it over back to where it was originally, it's often seen in Hindu and Buddhist temples, and it is a symbol of the sun, and it stands for prosperity, eternity, abundance, and good fortune. The solar cross, which is just the equal arm cross with a circle. The Ankh is the Egyptian symbol of life, representative of the sun as well. The Eye of Horus, or Ra, very recognizable, symbolizes protection and life. Spiral, quite often representative of life, rebirth, growth, connection. So it's got a bit of the sun element in there. Basic, but a circle. Circle, the shape of the sun, never ending like the sun, although it's possibly got a shelf life. Let's hope it lasts a few more millennia. The wheel, the solar wheel, representative of the wheel of the year. But all of the sun gods in their beautiful sun chariots need wheels. The infinity symbol, even perhaps, the figure 8 on its side. It is representative of the astronomical situation where the position of the sun is traced in the sky throughout an entire year, and it makes that shape. The sun tarot card as well, obviously, and quite a few oracle decks will have a sun or a solar card in as well. Lots of things. Jane uses a mix of Venus botanicals to make peace dust with mint added to speed it up. Minced mercury, smells delicious, sounds perfect. Maria, orb spiders tend to sit in webs in the summer. Spider is a sun one as well. Janet says, is there a rune that is related to the sun? I don't actually know. I'm sure there must be. I don't work with runes. If anyone works with runes, can we answer the question for Janet? Is there a rune that is related to the sun? Sure, there must be. Emma, I also make Georgie some rhymes for the dawn and dusk, as I felt he thought he was being left out by the other birds outside. Yes, I saw one of your rhymes. It was beautiful. More solar stuff going on than I thought. I think that's a beautiful idea. Christine, ban the bomb symbol was always used to be witch's footprint. Love to see them made with rainbow sunny colours. Yes, that I didn't know it was called that. That's perfect. Thank you, Xenia. Well, that makes sense. Soello is a sun rune. Thank you. That makes perfect sense. It even sounds like sun. Perfect. So there are lots of things you can do to represent the sun if you make a little altar. And a quick run through. The sun is brilliant for working all kinds of spell work, but a few ideas. You can make a psychic shield from sun energy. Stand outside in the sunshine and visualize a bubble of gold, sunshiny energy surrounding you. Visualize the rays of the sun coming down and filling the bubble, strengthening the outer area of the bubble. You can use it as your personal protection shield whenever you feel the need. And the bubble shield is a real traditional one to work with. But if you create it and infuse it with solar energy, for me, it feels like it brings quite a bit more protection and power with it. And that's a really, really easy thing to do. An energy spell. I mentioned earlier about absorbing the energy of the sun. So stand outside, keep your eyes closed, turn your face to the sun. Allow the energy of the sun to fill your body. Let it course through your veins, cleansing, energizing. Let it really feel it coming into your body and running through all of your limbs and through all of your veins and your meridians. And then when you're ready, clap your hands, stamp your feet, just to allow the excess energy to drain out. But that's very recharging and re-energizing. If you want to set yourself a goal, if you've got a desire or a wish or something you want to manifest, using the Sun Tarot card is a really good focus for it. Use the Sun Tarot card, pick a crystal of your choice, write your goal on a slip of paper, lay it on your altar or somewhere that won't be disturbed. won't be disturbed. Take the Sun Cat Tarot card and say out loud your request. Request, holding the card in front of you. Place the tarot card on top of your slip of paper. Charge the crystal in your hand with the same desire. Pop that on top of the tarot card. So you've got your petition slip, your tarot card, and your crystal, all charged with that solar energy and all infused with the desire and the goal that you want to reach. Leave it in place for 7 days, so a whole week. Recharge the crystal, re-energize the spell by saying your desire out loud once a day. On the 7th day, burn or bury the slip of paper. Cleanse the card and crystal for reuse. But that's 7 days, and I would start it on a Sunday and let the sun do its thing. And that's really simple. That's just a crystal of your choice, sun tarot card, and a slip of paper. And it works with the energy of the sun and the energy of the week and that energy that the sun tarot card brings with it. Really, really simple. What else have we got? A solar crystal spell. Pick a crystal that represents solar magic to you. So it might be citrine, might be carnelian, might be sunstone, could be anything. Might even be a pebble. Yeah. Sunrise if possible. Early morning if it isn't possible. Hold the crystal in your hand and go outside. Lift it up to the sun. Say a chant, some words from the heart. Ask for the energy from the sun. See the energy being directed from the sun down into your crystal. If you can, and it's safe to do so, leave the crystal out in the sun or on the windowsill. Go back outside at midday and repeat your spell request. Put it back outside. Do the same thing again at sunset. Repeat your request. And then carry the crystal with you, infused with that solar energy, and then recharge it when you feel it's necessary. Maria says it is a design used a lot in Diwali. The swastika sign, yes, absolutely. It is used a lot in Hindu. That's where it originated from, as far as I'm aware. But it is a very beautiful, beautiful sign. There are lots of spell ideas in my sun magic book. There's spells for working with the sun in all sorts of ways. But trust your intuition. It is such a source of energy and power and magic that, as I say, I think it gets left out a little bit. But it's there to be used, and particularly at the moment where the days are longer and you don't see the moon quite so early on in the evening, I think the sun is perfect to work with, particularly as the garden is flourishing. I tend to be out there more during the day than I am in the evening anyway, so it works particularly well for me. But work with it just as you would the moon. Work with the sun in the same way. It's just a kind of balance of different energies. But some brilliant ideas today. Thank you, people, for all your interaction. For Kitchen Witch students, we have a healing session tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. It is me running it this month. I don't know what else we've got. There are more events coming up. I will be at the Artemis Gathering, the end of August. I've got some more things running with the College of Psychic Studies, online and in person. My spell kits in collaboration with the Psychic Tree, most of them have sold out within the first week. So thank you to everybody that's bought those. They will be restocking. Have a look at my events page on my website for more details of things that are coming up. Have a look at the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook group for more events that are coming up. We've got a ritual at the end of the month as well, open to everyone. And have a look at my blog, because there's lots of sun solar information on there as well. Jane's off to TK Maxx. They've confirmed their Halloween stuff is in. Get there now. They always have some fantastic stuff. Thank you, as always, for joining me, everyone. If you want me to talk about anything in particular, I have noted down weather and storm magic. I'll add that to the list. But do contact me if you'd like me to talk about anything in particular. Other than that, stay safe, stay cool, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will catch you all next week.